dicking around. We're trying to make something happen, and we all got that same wavelength, you know. And that's what I think is making it work. We got a common goal, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's you all got unity and chemistry, and that's what separates good bands from garbage.
Yeah, that's the word, is chemistry. That's what's making it work. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It actually is. I'm really happy with it.
So do you feel, you know, in this day and age, because the music scene has, like, changed so much, that it's easier to, self-promote yourself, or with the management, you know, promote yourself rather than, go the label route and, hope that you're not a jar on the shelf?
Yeah, I think self-promotion is, well, that's the way you're going to make money, is actually do it all yourself. It's a lot more work, but it's quicker to go to the label. And like I said, if we ever got signed, I wouldn't turn it down. But you know, that's a two-edged sword too. You know, you get signed and then you're almost in debt. You know, so it's kind of nice to do it yourself. We've been doing it ourselves. We're not really making any money, but we're having a good time doing it, and the word's getting out. And I think over time, it'll pay off. I actually have a pretty good feeling about it. Feel fairly confident. I'm confident in the music. You know, it speaks for itself.
And what's the best reaction that you've gotten, you know, from fans that have gone to your shows and everything? Do you have a story you could share on a way that you touched somebody?
There's a guy and a girl they had just moseyed in off the street at the Long Branch. And I'd never seen them before in my life. And they were front and center, man, rocking out. And a couple weeks later, no, it was a month and a half later, 6 weeks later, we go back to the Long Branch, and there those people are again. And it was like, we heard you were playing here. We had to come see you. You know, we had never heard of you. We came in this bar and said, man, if this band sucks, we're leaving. And you guys started playing, and we stayed for the whole fucking show. And we heard you guys are going to be back here, and they came back. And we... time, and then 6 weeks down the road, oh, those guys are fucking playing again. We got to go, you know, and that's inspiration in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, when we get compliments from other really good musicians that were playing with bands that hadn't played with us before, and they'll stand back and watch us, and then they're, you know, all kind of standoffish at first, like, yeah, whatever, and then don't want to give you time of day, and then all of a sudden at the end of the set, it's like, holy crap, who are you guys? You know, then, yeah, that is a very, very cool feeling. Strokes the ego, I guess you might say.
And if there was a band, you know, well, I'm sure there is, but each of you, if there was one band, you know, today that you could play with and perform with, who would it be and why?
Go ahead, Rick.
That's a tough one, man. There's so many big influences. Really, I would really like the opportunity to play with Hell Yeah, because you know, I'd like to meet Vinnie Paul. He's been, you know, a big influence. You know, Pantera has always been a big influence in my life, and it's actually kind of molded the way that we write music and the way that it comes out. The aggression, you know, the power, that power groove, you know, and I've always respected that sound, and that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'd like to open for Dream Theater, but, you know.
Dream Theater, yeah. That's badass.
That would be awesome.
That's a heck of a mix. Dream Theater meets Pantera.
Yeah.
That's our point.
But yeah, I've always dug the Mudvayne sound too, man. Dig was one of my favorite songs, and you know, like ever since I started listening to Mudvayne, man, I was a fanatic, you know, like, and immediately.
Yeah.
So even for back from the first time I've ever heard them, you know. So I mean, it would be an awesome. Yeah, I think it's an awesome mix they got there. Hell yeah, and I'd like to open up for them. I would.
Absolutely.
And what out of all, you know, the bands that you've opened up for, who was the coolest to open up for? I mean, who really welcomed you, rather than okay, yeah, open up for us?
Probably American Legion did a pretty good. I mean, they were really good to us. They're real well known. in the South.
Yeah, those guys are hella cool, man. Those guys know how to party, they know how to rock, and they're just really fucking down to earth. Awesome musicians, awesome people.
Yeah.
We'll be playing with them in Chattanooga and Knoxville here on September 26th and 27th. It's going to be fucking fun to see those guys again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you said you have a new album, coming out. Do you care to, share the name of it or, what it's going to be about?
Well, that's I don't even think we have a name for the album yet, man. We haven't decided that. We've got this awesome recording artist in Oneida, right there close to Oneida anyways, Odell Brummett, and he's doing us an awesome job. He's really, really fucking great guy to work with out there at Brimstone Recording. Man, he's doing a lot of work for us, and we've got Put 'Em Up finished. We sent that to 95.7. It's our local rock station. They're playing that on Sunday nights. We're scheduled to go back in on the 13th of August, and we're going to start recording this other one. We've got Fake It Till You Make It, and we plan on putting about 9 or 10 songs on this album, and it should be done by at least the beginning of the year, because we're only on song 2, man.
I mean, sometimes great things take time, though. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, it took a long time to get Put 'Em Up done. We had a little trouble really trying to develop our own sound. I mean, it's easy, to read a book and set your shit up just like somebody else, and get that, that sound. But we were really trying to strive for something a little different, and it took us a while to get everything dialed in. But I think we're getting really close to finding that sound that we're looking for.
All right, and what would you say is your favorite song out of all the songs that you've done, together as Minor Nine, and why?
I want to say Fading Light. It's been a while since we really played it out, but that's the one that kind of really throws down and gets people.
That's kind of also the one that really put us together, because at first, like I said, the majority of the songs were already written, and I was just showing the guys kind of, the gist of it and having them put their own flavor on it. And but Fading Light was written by Minor Nine. It was put together by all of us. And that, I think it just has something for me just because it's from everyone. It's not just something that I had on the table. It's something that we created together.
So all the new songs that are coming out are, created by Minor Nine?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, even when the drummer went to go see his dad in Houston, we kind of held off. I mean, we were antsy because we weren't getting to play any shows at all. We were just sitting around jamming. And we wanted to write, and we had a lot of good energy, and I was kind of snuffing it because I really didn't want to go too far without the drummer. I wanted to make sure that he had a part in it, as it was happening. I didn't want to leave him out of anything. So, we kind of waited for Matt to get back, and 2 of them, great sounding fucking songs already. It was well worth it.
Yeah.
And
we have one called The Trilogy. It's like 3 songs put together, and they are all phenomenal songs, and when that's done, that's going to be that's going to be
we're just working on that, but they're all going to roll together and be like one long ass song, but they've all kind of got the same theme going on, so we decided to kind of blend them. There's Rob's Dream Theater coming in, huh?
Frog rock.
So I mean, what would you say, really made you wanna, do music when you first started? Some of you a long time ago, others, not too long ago. Just in general though, what made you wanna, do music? Was it, for the love, or was it for the chicks, or was it, they grab money, or what's your backbone as far as the reason that you started this, and what would you see yourself as far as being successful? What measure of success would be all right and content with you?
I am a success already. I mean, I feel like I've went farther than I've ever imagined. You know, I mean, it wasn't when I was like 14 years old, 15 years old. You know, I was listening to 94.3 and listening to the local X, and hearing those bands, and I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted that. You know, and here like 2 months ago, you know, that happened. You know, and it's happening every weekend. You know, I mean, I feel like I've done something. I mean, I'm the only guy that I know around here that gets to go to Nashville and Alabama and Chicago and you know, who else gets to do that?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. You start off playing for the chicks, and then after you become involved in it so long, you know, it's like, well, it's a little more than that. And then you become in love with the instrument. The guitar becomes, you have a love affair with it, basically. And you have
Hell yeah, man! I had an air guitar for like 8 years before I got a real one. I played the shit out of that thing.
You know,
what I wanted to do.
It becomes part of your life. You know, you spend your whole life learning how to do it, and when you start making music, you know, after you finally get good enough where you can put some stuff together, it becomes something of its own. So it's more than just one thing. You know, it becomes a real part of your life. You know, it's kind of, you can't live without it. Then, you know, it's kind of like breathing. You know,
it's an addiction, man.
Yeah, it's an addiction. 6-string addict.
And we've had, you know, bands on, you know, here that have, you know, been on the Warped Tour, and, you know, Ghost of War, who we're going to have probably, you know, one of our feature bands. They just, they're currently doing the Rockstar Energy Drink, you know, tour and everything. And out of all the tours that are out there, which one would you, if you all had a chance to be a part of, would you want to be a part of?
Oh, yeah. Warped Tour would be a blast. That's a big one.
Yeah, just to meet all those musicians and gain all those fans, it would be, yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
So what?
You know, every now and then we kind of run into snags, though, because the drummer is so young. A lot of people are kind of reluctant to let us in, but I've noticed the places that have, you know, let us in, and kind of, even though they're questioning, like, I don't know about this shit, once we play, they're like, hey, man, come back anytime. So, if they just let us in, you know, we're good, man. We can get a foothold. That's just the hardest thing. Sometimes you know, the drummer's just so young, but hell, we've had him since he was 13, and he's grown so much in the past couple of years, man. He's better than any drummer I've ever played with, man. And I'll tell you, you can take that to the fucking bank.
Yep.
You know, he's. I would much rather not to get to play the shows and then people kicking their own asses later because they didn't let us play, rather than booting the fucking kid and trying to get somebody to fill his shoes, because there's nobody around that can do that.
Could you say the reason they are a little reluctant is because of, you know, alcohol and everything?
Yeah, of course. You know, that's, you know, everybody has to be aware of the law. You know, I mean, that's just how it is. And, you know, a lot of the venues that we get to, you know, play or that come up, you know, they do serve alcohol, and that's, you know, sometimes it is kind of a head butter, but we try to work around it, do what we can. A lot of times, you know, he can't come in. He can, you know, gets to come in, set up his drums, and leave. And then, like, right at 9 o'clock when we have to play, he gets to come in, get on stage, play the show, tear shit down, and leave. You know, so, I mean, that's kind of been working for us, but it's been harder to get into Knoxville lately because of that. But it's all right, man. We got shows all over the place. We're banging. We're getting out of the state all over the place.
And, you know, out of anywhere, you know, in the United States, if you could, you know, play, what state would you like to play in that you haven't?
I'd like to go to New York.
Yeah, New York would be good. Or Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Oh.
I second that. It's Vegas. I don't know. My blood's too thick for Nevada.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
All right. So would you all say y'all are pretty much, y'all like to party and just have a good time when you're doing your shows or after your shows?
No, absolutely not. We take it way more seriously than that. You know, if we have any drinks at all, you know, it's just definitely the guys that aren't driving, you know, and a lot of that, you know, he straightened us up, because you see people that, you know, get sloppy on stage, you know, and don't perform well, they don't act well, you know, and we try to stray away from that. Not only that, but we have to set an example for Matt. You know, we can't be a bunch of fucking idiots. And I feel like if you treat it like that, then it won't work. I think that you have to have a whole lot more respect for it.
Yeah, I think that's what's worked for us and made things work. So we have quite a bit of self-discipline. And